The Eritrean coastline stretches for over 1,000 kilometers along the Red Sea, a vast ribbon of land where the desert meets the water in a dramatic, unbroken line. This is a place where the horizon seems endless, and the sea breeze carries stories of ancient trade and forgotten empires. It is a silent expanse of sand and rock, shaped by wind and time, where the only sounds are the waves and the distant call of seabirds. The landscape feels untouched, almost timeless, as if waiting for something to awaken it. To outsiders, it may seem empty, but hidden within this quiet coast are two of the region's most strategically positioned deep-water ports, Massawa and Assab. These harbors have the potential to be gateways, not just for Eritrea, but for the entire Horn of Africa. These harbors are keys to potential wealth and influence, yet they remain largely dormant, their cranes still, their waters undisturbed. The infrastructure stands ready, but the world passes by, waiting for the moment when these ports will come alive. This stillness is not emptiness, but a nation holding its breath, caught between a history of conflict and a future of potential. The people here remember the struggles that shaped their land, and they look to the sea with hope and uncertainty. Imagine these ports bustling with trade, connecting the Horn of Africa to the world, creating jobs and transforming Eritrea's economy. The possibilities are immense: new industries, thriving communities, and a nation reconnected to global commerce. The coastline's location is undeniable, near the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, a gatekeeper to one of the world's most critical maritime corridors. Whoever controls this stretch of coast holds influence over the flow of goods between continents. Billions in trade pass just offshore, while Eritrea remains a spectator. The world's commerce sails by, tantalizingly close, yet just out of reach for now. The silence of the ports is a deliberate choice, shaped by a political doctrine that prioritizes security and autonomy above all else. Eritrea's leaders have chosen caution, wary of foreign entanglements and the risks that come with opening up. This caution has turned the coastline into a gilded cage, protecting sovereignty but trapping economic potential. The gates remain closed, and opportunity waits on the other side. As global powers eye the Red Sea, Eritrea faces a defining question. Can it unlock its coast's riches without sacrificing hard-won independence? The answer will shape the nation's destiny for generations to come. Eritrea's story is one of hard-fought independence, not a gift, but a prize won through decades of struggle and sacrifice. The journey to nationhood was marked by extraordinary endurance, as generations of Eritreans refused to surrender their dream of freedom. After colonial rule and a broken UN promise of autonomy, Ethiopia annexed Eritrea, sparking a 30-year war for self-determination. The people faced occupation, displacement, and loss, but their resolve only grew stronger with each passing year. The Eritrean People's Liberation Front, outnumbered and outgunned, fought for identity and survival, forging a culture of resilience and unity. In the mountains and deserts, they built not just an army, but a sense of shared purpose that would define the nation. Independence in 1993 was a triumph, but the scars of betrayal and indifference run deep. The celebrations masked the pain of lost loved ones and the heavy price paid for freedom. The government, led by Isaias Afwerki, remains wary of outsiders, convinced Eritrea can only rely on itself. This belief is rooted in the memory of past deceptions and the desire to protect hard-won sovereignty. Self-reliance is more than a slogan. It shapes policy, from rejecting foreign aid to tightly controlling investment. Every decision is weighed against the risk of losing independence or inviting foreign influence. The Red Sea ports were vital military objectives in the war, and their liberation symbolized victory and security. Control of the coastline became a symbol of national pride and a guarantee of survival. Today, the government sees the ports as strategic bulwarks, not just commercial assets. Their protection is seen as essential to Eritrea's sovereignty and future. This security-first mindset explains why Eritrea's Golden Coast remains closed, guarded by soldiers and fences, its potential left untapped. The legacy of struggle still dictates the nation's choices, shaping the hopes and fears of each new generation. Eritrea's independence is fiercely guarded, but at a steep economic cost. The dream of freedom endures, even as the nation weighs the burdens that come with it. Massawa and Assab are more than gateways. They're powerful pieces in the Horn of Africa's geopolitical chess game. For landlocked Ethiopia, access to these ports is an economic lifeline, but the 1998 border war severed ties, forcing Ethiopia to rely on Djibouti. The 2018 peace agreement briefly raised hopes of renewed cooperation, but mistrust quickly resurfaced and borders closed again. Eritrea fears economic dependence on Ethiopia could threaten its autonomy. The ports also attract global interest. The UAE used Assab as a military base, offering revenue but entangling Eritrea in regional rivalries. Leasing ports for military use brings income, but risks turning Eritrea into a pawn in proxy conflicts. The government faces a dilemma: open the ports for economic growth and risk sovereignty, or keep them closed and remain isolated. Every decision is weighed against a history of conflict and fear of domination. The result is paralysis, immense potential locked away by mistrust. Eritrea's ports remain silent, caught between opportunity and caution. Beneath Eritrea's arid soil lies another source of wealth: minerals like gold, copper, zinc, and potash. The mining sector, led by projects like the GOLDMINE, has brought in crucial revenue but also controversy over human rights abuses. The Colluli Potash Project, with one of the world's largest deposits, could transform Eritrea's economy for generations. Potash is vital for fertilizer, and Colluli's unique geology allows for low-cost extraction. The project promises billions in revenue and thousands of jobs, but faces hurdles. Chiefly, the need for export infrastructure. Exporting potash requires a new port facility, tying the project's success to Eritrea's coastal development. Eritrea's mineral riches are inextricably linked to its silent ports. Unlocking one means unlocking the other. Eritrea and Ethiopia's destinies are intertwined. Ethiopia's landlocked status makes access to Eritrean ports a strategic necessity. Djibouti's high fees and limited routes strain Ethiopia's economy, while Eritrea stands to gain massively from transit fees and trade. Opening the ports could transform Eritrea's economy, creating jobs and attracting investment. The 2018 peace deal briefly sparked cross-border trade and reunions, revealing huge pent-up demand. But mistrust quickly resurfaced, borders closed, and infrastructure decayed. Both nations remain trapped by suspicion, missing out on shared prosperity. The gate to opportunity is locked not by walls, but by decades of mistrust. Until leaders prioritize cooperation over rivalry, the region's potential will remain unrealized. The ports could be a bridge to prosperity or a symbol of missed opportunity. The choice remains unresolved. Eritrea's coastline borders the Red Sea, a vital artery for global trade and energy. Disruption here would send shockwaves through the world economy. Global and regional powers, US, China, France, the UAE, and more, vie for influence, turning the Red Sea into a crowded strategic arena. Eritrea's undeveloped ports are highly attractive for military and logistics bases. The UAE's presence at Assab and reported interest from Russia and China highlight Eritrea's value. For Asmara, this attention is both opportunity and risk, potential revenue, but also entanglement in rivalries. Eritrea can leverage this interest for investment or retreat further into isolation. Its choices will shape the balance of power in the Horn of Africa and beyond. Behind the geopolitics lies the daily reality of Eritrea's people, whose lives are shaped by forces beyond their control. Isolation and economic stagnation mean chronic job shortages, especially for the young, who struggle to find meaningful work. Many are conscripted into indefinite national service, with little pay or control over their futures or personal ambitions. This drives thousands to risk dangerous journeys abroad, separating families and draining the nation's talent and hope. Once bustling port cities like Massawa are now shadows of their former selves, haunted by memories of prosperity and loss. The potential for change is real. Opening the ports and developing mining could create jobs and hope for the future. The current policy's human cost is immense, a lost generation, and a pervasive sense of hopelessness for many. For Eritreans, the debate over the ports is about the chance for a better life and a brighter tomorrow. Eritrea stands at a crossroads. Continue its path of isolation, fiercely preserving sovereignty but enduring stagnation and uncertainty, or embrace integration and risk forging new dependencies in a rapidly changing world. The path of self-reliance has shielded Eritrea from external chaos and foreign interference, but it has come at the cost of economic hardship, limited opportunities, and a wave of mass emigration that has touched nearly every family. Integration means leveraging Eritrea's strategic assets, its deep water ports, rich mineral resources, and pivotal location, to engage with the world, attract investment, and rebuild trust with neighbors like Ethiopia. But it also requires a fundamental shift, from a mindset obsessed with security and control to one that sees economic development and openness as the true guarantors of lasting stability. The risks of opening up are real, from external pressures to internal upheaval, but so too is the promise of prosperity, innovation, and a brighter future for Eritrea's youth. Ultimately, the decision rests with President Isaias Afwerki and his inner circle, leaders shaped by decades of war, suspicion, and a deep desire to protect Eritrea's hard-won independence. Letting go of absolute control is daunting, and the fear of losing sovereignty is real, but the current model is unsustainable and risks leaving Eritrea behind. The world is watching closely, not out of charity or mere curiosity, but because a stable, engaged Eritrea benefits the entire region and the global community. A thriving Eritrea could anchor regional stability, foster cooperation, and secure vital global trade routes through the Red Sea. The choice is stark: open the gates and claim a place in the Red Sea's future, or remain a prisoner of history, watching opportunities slip away. Eritrea's answer will echo far beyond its borders, shaping not just its own destiny, but the fate of the entire Horn of Africa.